Alright, I guess I will, I'll start. See what's going on here. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. How do I see things? Alright, well I think I'm gonna get started. I can't really see... Looks like I can see chat in a way, but I can't really see much else. Sorry, this is my first time doing this. Fun stuff. Alright, got that. Cool. Yeah, just put that there. Perfect. Alright. What's up, everybody? Alright. So I'm just testing out live streaming, see if it's even a thing that's even possible to do. But right now I'm working on my game. So I've been working on this update for a little while. So if we go back to my main here, and if we go back up, this is where I keep all my stuff. I'd be interested to see if this is even visible on the stream, because I don't know how this is going to show up, because I'm using Starlink for my internet service provider, and that doesn't really have that great of a upload, but I think it's just fine, so we'll see how it works. Seems like my levels are okay. I don't know if the music is too loud or not, though. It's like negative 20 decibels. Let me crank it down just a little bit more. There you go, negative 25. Should be okay now. Alright. So I don't even know if anyone's even watching at this point, but I'm just gonna act like I've got 50 people in here. So we'll see what happens. So I'm working on my next update for my next devlog. My last devlog, I tried to port this project to Godot 4, and that did not work out so well. So I ended up reverting it back to 3.4, made a few changes, and then from there I'm trying to do this new fancy feature. So let me just go make one small tweak really quick here. So title screen. Ready? Okay. So let me go take a look at my UI, because what I want to do is I want to temporarily turn off my intro music from starting when I start the game, because I've already got music going on here. So title screen was one of the first UI things I made, and that is awful. So let me just set this autoplay to false, and I think that if we save that and I run the game, perfect. It doesn't pop up. It doesn't pop up with the music. Because it's going full screen, it takes a second or two for it to actually appear on the screen, which I don't like, but you can hear the sound of the buttons and everything. I see it on my levels, so we're good there. So currently, the feature I'm working on is, if we land, I also redid the UI before it. I made it more simple, so I just have the title, the description of what the place is, and then the options you have over here. I also reverted it to just use the buttons that I had, or just the default buttons. So everything right now is just sparse default UI until I can start dipping into doing themes and stuff like that. So, but I'm working on a shipyard screen, and so you can see here I can browse for ships for sale. And so what I'm doing is, with this screen here, I want to be able to, first of all, I want to be able to order these in like a, be able to sort these. So I need to add some sort of sort feature, like by price, ascending, descending, low to high, whatever. And yeah, so what I'm working on right now is when I click on one of these, I want it to be able to bring up a window that shows details about that ship. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm working on that. So if I close out of this, it's going to flash for a second, and then it should bring up my desktop again. There we go. Okay. What I might do is I might just disable the option for full screen by default. So where do I have that? I think it's an auto load options. I don't know if this actually even does anything here. If I set this to be defaulted to false, and I run it, oh cool, yeah, so I did my options right, yay. So now I can do it without having to commandeer the entire screen, and I could still resize it and stuff to be what I want, so that's handy. Okay, so now we got stuff optimized for working on stream, you know, not having to take over full screen and everything. I think what I'm going to do now is, let's see, so shipyard grid item. The way I have this right now is this is going to emit a signal whenever we click this. So what I have to do is, since my grid item is a type panel, I have to see what signals are available. Okay, so it looks like I already have a signal hooked up. So if we scroll down here, okay, so I'm already emitting a signal if it's clicked. I also made this utility class, or auto load rather, that just has a bunch of functions, and there's a few cases to where I want to be able to detect mouse clicks just from the basic GUI event, and there was a really messy way of doing that. So if we go to util here and I go to determine if input event is left click, I basically had to do all these checks. So I had to check if the event is an input mouse event button, if it was also a left button event, and if we were pressing the button. So do those three checks, and then this just simply returns true or false. So that's all it's doing. I'm just passing in the input event here. So if we go back to shipyard grid item, you can see I'm just checking, hey, if this doesn't equal, if this isn't true, then we're just going to return early. We're just going to do nothing. Otherwise, we're going to emit this signal that we've been clicked. So this shipyard grid item is displayed in the browse window. So I have this grid here, this list of ships. So in my code, I'm just going through and I'm populating that list of ships with details from from my actual ships. Now, one thing I'm not happy with is the way that I've got my ships and stuff handled is that all my ships are these scenes down here. So if I bring up something like, you know, just the basic synthocracy shuttle, which is what we start with, this is my ship scene. So this is where a lot of the data for the ship lives. So all these script variables that I set over here, like acceleration speed, turning speed, strafe speed, boost duration, hit points, shields, cargo space, all this stuff is located on these scenes. And so to access that data, I have to instance a scene of this ship. Where realistically, I probably should just move all this stuff to like a dictionary, and that way I can access it without having to actually make an instance of this scene. But that might be another thing for another day. But for now, that's what I have to do. So when I'm doing that on my browse window, I basically just have to instance my ship. I gotta load it and instance it, and then I'm just grabbing what I need from it, and then I'm freeing it up from the scene tree. Even though it's never even added in there, I'm just deleting that instance after. That seems like a pretty inefficient way of doing it, so I've got a to-do here that just says think about how best to determine this for, or actually I have multiple to-dos. Improve this somehow. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing there. So I'm connecting the grid item signal, I'm connecting the click signal to myself to this function I called grid item clicked. And this is where I was working on before I decided to try to start a live stream, just for funsies, to see if it would even work. So what do we want to do when we click this? So browse window is actually a child of my shipyard window. So if we go over here, this is the shipyard window, we've got the choose window, and then the browse window. I'm thinking about reworking how I have this done too. So right now these are just included, and I'm just either hiding them or displaying them. But I think I might actually just make instances and add them to the scene and then remove them when I'm done with them, rather than just toggling visibility. And the reason why I'm thinking about doing that is because, especially for the browse window, or when I click on a shipyard grid item to view details about a ship, when that first loads in, the ready function is going to do a lot of things. Well, if I'm just toggling visibility of it, that ready function is only going to fire one time ever. So that's why I'm thinking of doing it. But let's see here. So shipyard window. Okay. So shipyard grid item is sending a signal up to browse window. Now, what does browse window need to do with that signal? I think we're going to emit our own signal. Browse window view ship. And we're just going to, so we're going to do that. Emit signal. Browse window view ship. And then we're going to pass in the ship name as well. So we can get rid of this. Save. So now what I have to do is, if we go to shipyard window, I think I'm going to start by having choose window shown. That seems to be the best way to do it. And then, so what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to add a thing here. So we're going to just load in the resources, the scenes that we're going to need. So I'm going to load these scenes that we will need for this window. So I'm going to say var, I'm going to say choose window scene. This is going to be a type packed scene. It's going to equal load. Then what we're going to do here is choose window.scene. I'm going to right click that bad boy, copy path. Throw that in quotes. There we go. We'll do the same thing for browse window as well. Browse window scene of type packed scene. And we're going to load that resource. So browse window.scene, copy path. There we go. So now we have those resources loaded. The other thing we're going to need to load is ship info scene Give me a packed scene as well. And then I think I'm pretty sure I've created this already. I started on it. So where is it? Oh, it's by ship window. That's what I called it. No, I don't want to rename it. Just want to copy it. And then what I might do is I might just rename it by ship window scene. That way stuff is at least consistently named with what it actually does. So I'm loading those resources. So now what I can do is in my ready. So I'm setting the browse window. Okay, so I'm going to add a to-do here. We need to do this whenever we instance and add to scene for the browse window. So now what I want to do is I'm going to basically just comment this stuff out right now. So I'm going to hit Control K, which comments it out. And then I'm going to add just a pass down here at the bottom, so it doesn't throw an error, because you have to have something inside of a function. I'm going to throw a to-do there. And then what we're going to do is that when we choose browse, what we're going to do here is we're going to delete the choose window scene. So we're going to do choose window dot u3. So we're no longer worried about hiding it. We're just going to get rid of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to instance browse window. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do browse window scene instance. I need to assign this to a variable. Instance. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to say var. I'm just going to say b scene. And this is going to be, I think browse window is a margin container. There we go. So now that we've instanced the scene, set instance variables before adding to scene tree. So what we need to do is we need to do b scene. Basically, I need to do here. So location name equals location name. I have to pass that down. So b scene. Boom. Location name equals location name. And I just have that variable stored here. This is passed down to us when the ship window is actually opened. So I'm just passing that down as needed. And then from here, we also need to, I'm going to get rid of this now. We don't need this anymore. And then I'm going to add it to the scene tree. So I'm going to say add child. I'm just going to add a child to myself, which in this context is shipyard window. I'm going to say b scene. Actually, this should probably just be, I'm just going to name this b. Just keep it simple. Add child b. Browse window scene. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect signal. And then the signal that we're going to connect, I'm going to do b.connect. And the signal that we need to connect for this browse window is we need to actually connect two signals. We need to connect browse window cancel and browse window view ship. So let's connect those. So browse window, you know, I'm just gonna go copy it. That way there's no confusion. That way there's no typos. Just gonna copy it. I'm going to connect that to myself, and then the function that we're going to connect it to. So this is browse window cancel. We already have this right here. Since this is no longer a auto-generated function, because when you can hook up functions, or you can hook up signals from the node editor. When you do that, it creates this function. But if I'm connecting signals manually, I have to make sure that my function is not a auto-generated name. So that's why a lot of my code, when I write it, is camel case rather than the snake case. So that way I know that it's code that I wrote. And so that's what I'm gonna do here. So on browse window cancel. And I have to be careful that I need to make the signals unique. So even though I might pass the same signal up multiple times because stuff is connected, even though the signals might do the same thing, you get naming collisions and stuff that way. So that's why I'm doing that. Alright, so I'm connecting the cancel signal. I've got that. So now we're going to make, let's see, I'm going to add a comment here. Connector function that will fire when the cancel. I'll just put signal connector function. That's what it is. So then you can look at what signals are connected. And the next signal that we need to connect, b.connect, is going to be not that. Let me go back and copy it. Browse window view ship is what I named it. Might name it something else. We're going to connect that to ourself. And then the function that we're going to connect it to, we need to make it. So I'll just add another signal connector function. And we're going to name this one on view ship, because that's really what we want to do. So this is going to take in the ship name, which is going to be of type string. It's not going to return anything, so we're going to put void, and then just for now put a pass so it doesn't throw an error. And then we need to instance the, what did I call it? By ship window scene. Ship window scene. Then we need to set variable, set instance variable, add it to the scene. Oh, first we need to actually we need to remove the browse window. So delete the browse window instance. So we're going to just, since it's named browse window, we're just going to reference it like this, and we're going to say queue free. The safe way would probably be to like get node, but I think it still throws the same error either way. So we'll see what happens. So instance the by ship window scene. So we're going to say var, I'm just going to say B again. And this is going to be of type, what did I make it? I think I made it, this is also a margin container. It's going to equal by ship window scene dot instance. There we go. Cool. So we're setting the instance variable, the variable that we need to set specifically. If we go look at by ship window, we need to figure out what ship it is. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create a variable. What ship are we viewing info for? Var. I'm just going to say ship name because that's the name I've been using. We can make a type string. And I'll say expected to be set by the calling instance. So whatever instance is basically calling us, whatever instance is instancing us, needs to be responsible for setting this variable in order for it to work. And by calling instance prior to being added to scene tree. There we go. Because how I'm going to have this work is that when we create this window, we're going to populate the ship name, and then we're going to add it to the scene. Once it's added to the scene, this ready function is going to fire. So it says called when node enters the scene tree for the first time. And then this is where I'm going to like fetch all the ship data and stuff like that and populate all the stuff. So that's what I'm working on now. So we're just going to have that variable there. It's expected to be set before it gets added to the scene tree. So we're just going to say b.ship name equals, and then I think we're just going to use ship name here, right? Yeah, we have ship name being passed in through this function. So we'll just say ship name. There we go. And then now we can add it to the scene. So we're going to add child. And we're just going to add that. There we go. So that should work. Now we also need to make sure that we connect signals. I'm going to put a to-do here because I don't actually have signals to connect on this thing yet. I should probably do that. Let's take a look at buy ship window here. Let's go to the 2D editor. Oh, I forgot that I filled in that that funny is this testing code? Hello. There we go. Hello world. Whoopsies. So yeah, so what I think I'm going to do is for this window, I think I'm going to leverage the rich text label, which I've never used before, but it has a thing where you can do something called BB code, and it allows you to specify like different colors and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the information about this this ship, and then from there I'm going to just format it all in one BB code label and then just set it. That way I don't have to add a bunch of different labels and then set a bunch of values for those labels. I can just do one. I'm going to try this approach and see how it works. I don't know if it's going to be something I might like to do or not, but we'll see what happens. Okay, text. So why does it have this here? There we go. BB code enabled. Cool. All right, I'm going to save this. What I need to do now is I need to go in this this VBox container here. I'm going to add an HBox container to the bottom of it. And what I'm going to do is for this HBox container, I'm just going to rename it HBC for short. That way paths are shorter. And then I'm going to add a button. And then for now, I'm just going to say button cancel. And then we're going to add, make sure that I've got cancel on here. Just for the theme here, I'm going to add, see, my themes are super rough right now. So I have these themes that mostly just have a font size. So that's how I've got it working right now. When I dive into themes later, that's going to be its own thing. So that's what I'm working on now. So I have button theme. I'm going to add another button here. This is going to be button, I'm going to say buy. And I'll name this buy or like purchase. You know, whatever I want to call it. So these buttons are just here on the screen, which is not where I want them. I want them to be farther down. I want them to be at the bottom right. So how I'm going to handle this is let's see. I might need to, I don't want to nest another VirtualBox container. I don't want this panel to take up the entire thing, but I think it might. So we'll just work with it for now. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set the alignment to be end. Theme overrides. I'm going to add some separation. I'm just going to add like 8 pixel separation. That looks a little better. And then what I'm going to do is size flags. I'm going to shrink it to the end. Yeah, it doesn't seem to do what I want it to do. Because we have all these other things here. So I think I might have to nest multiple multiple VBoss containers. So I don't see an easy way to get this to just go down. Stretch ratio. I got it set to be alignment end already. Oh, there we go. I can just set it to expand, and then I can just I can just uncheck fill. There we go. So now that's at the bottom right. So those are where I want them. And then I already have the ship info being added here. That'll just populate all the info there. So, cool. That should work. Now, let's see. This doesn't really fit in. I don't like how the button's kind of like right on the edge, but whatever. I'm just going to leave it for now. It's functional. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to leave it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a VBoss container. I'm going to move this up here. I'm going to make this a child of that panel. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this as a child of that. There we go. So now this panel, this VBoss container, I need to set the size flags to expand. There we go. So this, perfect. So now that looks how I want it to. I've got the panel of info here, and then I got the buttons down below. So let me rename this to VBC just to shorten it. So then I have a panel, then I have another vertical box container with a label for the title, an H separator, and then all the ship info that will populate everything down below it. So let me save that. Now what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to go over here and I'm just going to go to the pressed signal. I'm going to connect it to my buy ship window here. So here we go. Auto generated connector function. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make our own signals. So we're going to need to make a signal for buy ship window cancel. So when we cancel this, and then we're also going to have a signal for when we purchase a ship. So buy ship window purchase. There we go. And we're probably going to need to include something. I don't know what that's going to be. I'm just going to add it to do there. Figure this out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here to button buy. We're going to connect that signal as well. And this is just going to connect a signal up to the main window node. So emit. We're going to emit signal that we've canceled. So emit signal, and we're just going to do buy ship window cancel. Nothing else needs to go with that. We can get rid of this pass. And emit signal that we're purchasing this ship. So we're going to emit signal buy ship window purchase. I'll put it to do here, add additional data as needed. And then we can just get rid of this pass. We don't need that. Okay. So now we have these signals set up and being emitted in the shipyard window. We want to connect those signals. So what we're going to do here is connect signals. So this is on view ship. So we're going to do b.connect. And just make sure I copy them. the right way. There we go. We're going to connect it to our cell, and then we need to come up with a function to do that. So copy and paste this. It's going to throw an error real quick until I fix this out. Here we go. Boom. There we go. So we're connecting those signals. Now we need to make the signal connector function. So let's just do that. Signal connector function. So this is going to be on, I'll just say by ship window cancel. Nothing's passed in, nothing is returned. So what we're going to do here is all we need to do is we need to destroy the by ship window instance. So that's what it's called. It's called by ship window. And we're just going to do queue free. And then, so if we're canceling on buying a ship, what window do we want to display? I would assume we're going to go back to the browse window. So we're going to instance the browse window scene, yep. So now we're going to do, I'm just going to call it B again. Bar B, which is going to be of type margin container equals browse window scene dot instance. There we go. So now what we need to do, I think I might just make these functions because I'm going to be doing a lot of repeat code, which I don't like. So I'm going to do some helper functions up here. I'm just going to make functions to instance sub windows and connect signals. So I'm going to do func, and I'm going to say this one's going to be called I'm just going to say show browse window. There we go. So what we're going to do here is, look at that. We've already done this code here once. So I can just simply copy this. Browse window view ship. Right. So I made this function already. So we're going to do on view ship. I'm just going to simply copy this section, move that here, and then I'm just going to say show the browse window, and then we can just simply call show browse window. There we go. So we've got that. We'll also need a function to show, what other window do we need to show? Choose window. Actually, I don't know if we do or not, but that's fine. I'll do show by ship window. This is going to take in nothing. It's going to return nothing. And then, so now on the by ship window, how are we displaying that? We're doing that here. So I can cut this out, show the by ship window, and then I can just do show by ship window. So now what we're going to do here is we're just going to copy this, paste it. By ship window scene instance. Okay, so we are going to need the ship name to be passed into this function. We'll just pass that in. There we go. I have no idea if this chat's even working or not. I have no idea if anyone is even watching. You know what? I should check out my own stream on my phone. Is that too cool? Let me see. Bum 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 bum. Okay, let me mute it. And no, I'm the only person here. Let me send yeah. All right, cool. No worries. That's fine. We're just testing it out anyways. So, where'd my music go? Play my music. There we go. Nice. Alright, so some buy ship, show buy ship window. We've got that. We need to connect on buy ship window cancel. We're going to want to do this function. There we go. Buy ship window purchase. We need to make that happen too. So we'll do signal connector function, just like we did before. Function on, what did I call it? Okay. On buy ship window purchase. Return nothing. For now, we're just going to throw a pass on here and a to-do. Figure buying a ship. Or rather, figure out buying a ship. There we go. Cool. Now we've got that. Let's see. That should work fine. And so we've got that now. So on buy ship window, instancing it, we're adding it. So now we can add this connector function there. There we go. It seems like a contrived mess to me, but it's the only way I know how to use signals and stuff. So yeah. Let's see here. Connect signals. Okay. Now, I don't have anything for the choose customize option. I haven't even started on that yet. That's going to be a challenge. But let's see. Let's focus on what we've got. So we have those windows. We're able to instance them, connect signals, so we're not repeating ourselves with that code there. So on view ship, we want to destroy the browse window. And we want to show the buy ship window. On buy ship window cancel, we're going to want to destroy the buy ship window, and then we're going to want to show the browse window. Then we're just going to do show browse window. I think that should work. So let's just see what happens. Let's fire it up. New game. I'll land. Pull up a shipyard. Browse for ships. I'm going to click a random ship. Okay, so it doesn't delete the other window. Does it give me any sort of error or anything? No. Oh, I know why. I'm a dum-dum. So, here's what I did. I still have it here loaded, so it's always going to be there. So let me just delete this node. There we go. So now I think it should work. Let's save, fire it up. New, we're going to land, go to shipyard, browse ships for sale, click on the ship. There we go. So it brings up the ship window. Naturally, it's not actually fetching any of the actual data yet, but it gives us info about the ship, and then we can cancel, and it goes back to the browse window, and then we can click on a different ship. So now that we have all that working, that workflow functioning, let's start working on this buy ship window. So first things first, we need to go in the code. So we're passing in the ship string, or the ship name string. So now what we have to do is we have to fetch the ship data. So we're going to have to instance the ship. So to do that, I think we did that in the browse window. So we're going through list of ships. Gotcha. Okay. So I have a ship's auto load that has like all the data about, not all of it, but a lot of the data about my ships. The key name for this dictionary is the actual ship name itself. So I can access this, I can get the scene path from there, and then I can instance it, and I can pull whatever other data I need from here, including like what the base price is and stuff. So let's go back to buy ship window. So we need to instance the ship. So how we're going to do this is we're going to say var ship instance. This is going to be of a type ship. Is going to equal ships. It's going to actually, no, it's going to equal load. The path that we're going to load in is going to come from the ship's auto load. And it's going to be ships. We're going to access it by a dynamic key. So we're going to use brackets. Ship name. We're going to say dot scene path. That's what I had it saved as. Yes. So we go down here to ships. Yes, scene path. Okay. And then we are going to load that, and then we're going to instance it. There. So that should work. And then from there, well, what we can do is once we have that ship instanced, then we can start pulling all the data that we need from it. So I don't know if there's a clean way of doing that. Let's fire up the Google machine. So Godot pull all custom variables from an instance. I don't know if we have a way of doing that, so this might just be even messier than I thought. So what we're going to have to do is, now that we have access to our ship's data, we'll say scene data, start formatting our BB code rich text label. So what we're going to do is we're basically just going to build this label as we go. So there's lots of data that we're going to need to pull. So let's take a look at what data we need to actually pull from our ship, what data we actually need to display. So what we're going to need to display, let's take a look at the 2D scene here. So we're going to want, I would assume we're going to want, let me go back here. Okay. So let's see here. What we're going to want is we're going to want, okay. So ship details. We're going to want to see, first of all, what ship class it is. So say, for example, it's a fighter, freighter, cruiser, carrier, etc. So this will be, this is a carrier. So what other thing do we want to display about this ship? We also want to display basic stats. So we want to display max speed. We want to display turning speed. We want to display, I mean, the deceleration speed's the same for every ship. It's like super slow. So I don't know if I should display that or not. I'll say boost speed. So we want boost speed. You know, let's just start typing this in the actual code so I can start working on it. So, things we need to display. So what did I say? Ship class, fighter, freighter, etc. We needed to display the max speed, right? Yeah. Max speed, turning speed. We also want to display strafe speed, which is like side to side. We also want to display... Let's take a look at a ship here. So we take a look at this like Coalition Crusader here. Acceleration speed, strafe speed, turn speed, maximum speed. Oh, we do want to show what the acceleration speed is. So we'll do max speed, strafe speed. We also have like boost duration. That could be handy. Let's do that. Boost duration. We want to show how many hit points it has, shields it has, cargo space, cargo space. We also want to show if it can carry any fighters, carried fighters. And then we want to display weapons. So you need to display weapons. Weapon slots and weapons. So that's the basic information we need to display for every ship. So now that we have that, let's start working on how to format this. So looking at BB code stuff, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to want to format it. I think I might be able to use a table. That might be the best way. And then inside the, so we're going to have the, you know, the left is going to basically just be what the header is, whatever the label is. And then the right side of it is going to be what the value of it is. So I think that's what I might do. So table creates a table with number of columns. Okay, so I'm going to do table equals 2. And then I can add in as many cells as I want. Now, let's test how that works. So let's go back into the 2D editor here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try some BB code here in the editor. So let's do table equals 2. So it's going to have 2 columns. And then so this is going to have, we're going to say table. And then so all these cells, I guess all these cells are just going to be stuff. Is that what it's going to show? How do we do a cell? Oh, gotcha. Okay. So then we just do cell. Okay. Gotcha. So then what we can do here is we can just do cell. And we'll do a closing tag as well. There we go. So we'll say something like ship class. And then if we do another cell, and we do another closing cell, then what we can do is we can say carrier. There we go. So then if we do another cell, this should start on like a new row, I believe. So I say something like, LOL. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So then, does the table give us functions for being able to like move things to the right? So if I want everything in the right column to be justified right, does that let me do that? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I can just use a right tag. Interesting. So I haven't used BB code before, so this is kind of fun. So inside this cell here, if we just do a right, and then we do a closing tag, it doesn't do anything, unfortunately. What if we take the right tag outside of the cell? Does that do anything? No, it does not. At least not that I'm aware of. Let me try something here. So I made that one super long on purpose. Let's do another cell. Let's do a closing tag for cell. And then I'm going to say end. Oh, okay. I do like that. It does. Okay. This might be clean anyway. So this is perfectly fine. Cool. So we're going to use a table. So the reason why I'm doing this rich text label with this BB code stuff is I also want to be able to do colors. So I can do a color. A color equals like line. And then I can add a closing tag for that. There you go. So now I can color stuff without having to have like 50 billion label components that each have a custom, modulate setting. I can just do all this in just one big rich text label and just format it with code, and that should work fine. So, cool. So let's copy this, and let's go back into the script, and I'm just going to add... For some reason, Godot likes to do multi-line comments with like 3 quotation marks, which is weird. But there we go. I'm going to throw that in there anyway. This is not liking it for some reason, so I'll throw this here. There we go. Oh, hey! Someone's here! What's up? What's going on? I've just been talking to myself here for like an hour. This is cool. I'm actually testing live streaming. Does like the sound come through all right? Like, am I able to be heard and stuff? Bum 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 ba da da na 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 na. Okay, so we've got that. So now we can start formatting this stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a variable. And I'm going to say I'm going to call it BB code. And it's going to be a big string. And we're just going to build this string as we go. Let's see. I don't know if you're still watching or not, but can you hear me? There we go. Cool. Okay, so we're going to start the table. So we're going to say BB code. Actually, no, we're just gonna initialize it with the table. So we're going to make it a string, and we're just going to make table 2. So we're just going to put that right in there. Cool. So now that we've got that initialized, we need to start making cells. So we need to make we start formatting this. So we're going to do ship class. So we're going to say BB code. And I'm going to do plus equals to just add another string to it. And we're going to do our cell. I'm just going to add ship class. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to populate that. I think we have that in our ships auto load. We do. We have ship class there. So I can just get that there. That's fine. I think I can also get it from my ship though. Yeah, ship class. Okay. So we can get it either way. So what we'll do here is we'll just do... And then we'll do another... We'll just throw in another cell. You know, I'm gonna make this, I don't know, does Aqua even work? So here, let's try, instead of lime, yeah, ship class carrier. Okay. So I wonder if I should have different color codes for different ship classes. That could be cool. Yeah, I wish YouTube chat showed me the timestamps. I can't tell when Act 4, when AC4 said hello. Oh well. Boom, boom. So Aqua does work as a color. I don't know if I should necessarily color code that or not though, but I'll stick with it for now. If I hate it, I'll just change it. That's fine. So it goes back to script. So now what we can add in here is we need to break this string. God damn it, stop that. Thank you. And we're gonna need to stringify, actually, no we're not, because it's already there. So we're gonna do ship instance dot ship class. There we go. So we've got that. Awesome. Easy peasy. This is a bit longer than I would like, but you know, I think I might break this out into multiple lines. So I might just seal that off there. Boom, and then we can just do another string append here, basically. There we go. So that way we can do the header, and then we can do the value. So it's basically just key value pairs, basically. Cool stuff. All right, next up, we need to do acceleration speed. So we'll do acceleration speed. So for this, what I want to do is we're gonna just copy and paste this basically, and I'm gonna just put acceleration speed, and then what I want to do for the acceleration speed is I want to be able to show you like what the current value is, and then whether it's higher or lower than your current ship value, so that way you can kind of get stats like right there on the screen saying, hey, like this ship is like, you know, it's obviously slower than my current ship, but it's got like way more cargo space, way more shield, way more health, so on and so forth. But yeah, good stuff. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna do ship. I'm gonna do axe speed, and then what I want to do. So let's get rid of the. Oh, I need to string that. That's right. Make it a string. So we're gonna cast it as a string. There we go. I'm gonna get rid of this color aqua. I think I might make some like helper functions to just like kind of auto wrap this stuff. So that might help things. So let's see. Let's make some helper functions down here. BB code formatter helper functions. So I'm gonna say func. Let's see. Add cell. Whatever value is going to be a string in there, and it's going to return a string because it's going to return the formatted string. So I'm just going to return an empty string for now, put a to do on there. Then what we're going to do is we're basically just going to do this. So cell, and then we're going to do plus value plus followed by the closing tag. I think that should basically be all we need to do for that, right? Because there's going to be some fancier stuff we're going to do for formatting wise, and if we can cut down the code that we're throwing in there, might make it a little cleaner. So then we're going to do func. We're going to do, I mean, add cells basically all we need to do. So I'm going to say color. So I don't know if I should do that or not. I'm just going to leave it as add cell for now. So what I can do here is I can just basically just do BB code plus equal, and then we can do add cell, and then I can just put in the class. There we go. Now we can get rid of that. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm just going to wrap this in add cell. There you go. So I think this will work out a little bit better. Might just be a little bit cleaner in the long run. So we'll do add cell and all right, so we can get rid of this. And then we're just going to do add cell again. And there we go. Cool. So, just for testing purposes, I want to just treat this as a proof of concept and see if it actually works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say add the table closing tag. So I'm going to do BB code plus equals, and then we're just going to do the slash table. Okay. And then we also need to, we're going to need to set this. So we're going to need to update the BB code text of our rich text label. So I think we already have that, right? So ship info. So we can just do ship info dot bb. Oh, what was the parameter for that? Let me see what it was. Rich text label. Here we go. So BB code underscore text. Gotcha. BB code text slash text label. Oh, right, I move things around. So I have to update this path here. HBC panel ship info. And then I think this is still the same. HBC center container. Yeah. Okay. So we should be good there now. BB code text equals, I'm just going to put BB code. Cool. And then we also want to update the ship image with the actual ship's sprite, texture, whatever. So how we did that before, did that on browse window. So we're doing ship instance dot get node sprite texture resource path. So I can just say, so ship image is what I called that. Ship image dot texture equals, and I think I just did ship instance get node texture dot resource path. I might have to load that in, right? Yeah, because I'm setting an image path there for my shipyard grid item, and then I'm loading that. Gotcha. So I just have to wrap that in a load call. So this is like a pretty messy thing that I normally wouldn't do, because we have like so many things happening just on one line. We're loading. Well, first of all, we're doing get node, and then once we get that back, we're doing get node sprite of an instance, a scene that we have instanced, and then we're referencing the texture, and then we're referencing the resource path of that texture, and then we are loading that and setting that as the texture for our current ship image. So that should function. So at the very least, if we save this and run it, and we go into the shipyard, browse for ships, I pick a random ship, say I pick this fighter, something broke. Why do I have a load there again? Oh, I see. Unable to get index. Synthocracy light fighter. So there's no scene path in my ships for Synthocracy light fighter? Really? Synthocracy light fighter. There's gotta be a typo in here somewhere. Light fighter. I don't know how it's having that issue. Invalid get index. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I need to reference list. I'm a dum-dum. Okay. So ships dot list. There we go. Let's try that now. Shipyard. Click. There we go. Okay. So it is pulling in stuff. It is formatting it with BB code. So that's a win. And then if we can cancel, go back. Awesome. Cool. So proof of concept, it works. Now I just need to add it all in and format it. But I think I'm going to do that later. I was just testing live stream. I think I might just watch my VOD or whatever it is on YouTube, just to see how even viewable this is, and see how my internet actually handles live streaming. And yeah, anyway, if someone is even here watching, thank you for watching. I will see you in some other video that I'm going to make. And yeah, catch y'all later.